the favorites. From just a few miles up the road, the Nauvoo Colusa Vikings reasoned, if them, why not us? Why not indeed? So, just like their rivals, Nauvoo set its sights high, and nothing, no matter how high the hurdle, would keep them from reaching their dream. Not even being down 9 late in their sectional semifinal game to Brown County. Brian Griffiths to send the game into overtime. And then Doug Siegfried made the play at the end of the game to put the win on ice. Then they didn't back down from highly regarded QND. Time running out, game tied. David Griffiths, the quiet assassin. And it was on to the super sectional, and there they didn't fear unbeaten AC Central. They raced out to a big lead in that ball game and earned their first trip ever to the state tournament. But the Vikings weren't satisfied yet because they knew the sky was the limit.
I have confidence in them. The bigger the game, the better these guys have played in the past. So, I'm looking forward to it, and our kids will be ready to go.
Yeah, I know we belong there, and I know we're going to do good if we do everything right.
The Vikings set sail on a great adventure, and only they knew what was in store. The school has an enrollment of only 136. But these players knew what was important was not the size of the Vikings in the fight, but the size of the fight in the Vikings. The Vikings used this grand stage to make a statement and to leave their mark on the history of the tournament. They weren't just at the state tournament, they were there to take it. They met Chrisman in the state quarterfinals. Doug Siegfried got them off to a great start, but midway through the second quarter, they trailed by 15. It was a miserable first half, but Nauvoo showed some life. Joe Wilson with the jump shot here to make it 34-23. And then Emmett Ryder, who had a terrific tournament with the three-point play. It was a 10-point ball game, 35-25. And then just before the half, a steal by Nauvoo. David Griffiths beat the buzzer. And the Vikings were down just 8, and they knew they could play much better.
Yeah, the first half, a couple of my shots fell short, and yeah, everyone, my hands were all sweaty, and big arena like this, I was pretty nervous.
Yet in the locker room, head coach Reno Pinkston worked things out.
He just told us, spread them out and just try to get better shots than what we're getting. Play better defense. Our defense wasn't as good as it usually was first half.
We didn't want this to be our last game of the season, so I knew no doubt we were going to play better the second half because the first half was pretty terrible.
Whatever Reno Pinkston told his team, the message got through loud and clear. The Vikings came out smoking in the second half. David Griffiths lining it up from 3. As Nauvoo Colusa scored the first 6 of the second half. Then Dave Hama on the drive. Game tied, 37-37. The Vikings had an 18-3 run there. Then Griffiths again. It was tied at 39, but at the end of the third quarter, Matt Wyatt hit that bucket, and Chrisman had rebuilt a 48-42 lead. But the fourth quarter was all Nauvoo Colusa's. David Hama grabs the loose ball down to David Griffiths. And then almost an identical play. This time, Joe Wilson with the completion. David Griffiths played a great fourth quarter. Here on the drive, Griffiths will draw the foul. And in the fourth quarter, Nauvoo Colusa hit their last 6 free throws. In fact, they scored the last 13 points of the game. Here, Griffiths drawing the defense, and Emmett Reidner nailing the jump shot right there to give the Vikings the lead. And then David Hamma with another breakaway coming up right here. With the steal for Hamma, he puts the victory on ice. The Vikings beat Chrisman 59-52 to improve to 30-3 on the season.
We feel great now. I mean, we guarantee 2 more games now, so we're going to go out, have some fun, and try to bring home the first place trophy.
And in the semifinals, the Vikings played their second unbeaten team of the week, 32-0 Farmington. David Hamma got the Vikings on the board. It would be a great shooting day for David Griffiths, and here he gives the Vikings a 7-5 lead. Nauvoo Colusa playing unselfish all season, here going inside to David Hamma, and the Vikings had a 13-12 lead after 1 quarter. Kenny Haas came off the bench in the second quarter to score 2 baskets as Nauvoo had the lead at the half 24-22. But in the third quarter this time, Nauvoo Colusa fell apart, being outscored 16-7, and after 3, they trailed unbeaten Farmington 40-29. And with the pressure on, Nauvoo came through again. Joe Wilson made it a 5-point game. Then Joe Wilson made it 43-39. Farmington had tried to spread out their offense and run out the final couple of minutes, but David Hamma there on the defensive play, giving the ball back to the Vikings. With 1:48 left, Doug Siegfried tied the game at 45. With under a minute to go, Nauvoo down 2 again, and Doug Siegfried felt the hot hand. Game tied, 47-47. Farmington tried to delay for the last shot, but they coughed the ball up again, giving Nauvoo a chance to set up the winner. Reno Pinkston told his team, let's give the ball to David Griffiths, and he'll make something happen. Joe Wilson fouled on the play with 1 second on the clock. Reno Pinkston told Wilson to make the first one and then miss the second one intentionally. So Wilson had to make the second one to give Nauvoo Colusa the lead.
Well, I knew Joe's an excellent shooter. I knew that he would make one, if not 2. So when he missed that first one, I knew he'd make the second one. I was kind of scared, but not really.
And after knocking off their second unbeaten team in a week, Nauvoo Colusa now playing for the state championship.
it comes down to, the heart especially. I mean, if you want to win a state title, you got to give it all, and that's what we're going to do, and hopefully we come back with a state championship.
They had to meet yet another unbeaten team in Spring Valley Hall, and we'll see how that turned out after this break. The Vikings had stretched their season as long as they could. They now were ready to play in the state championship game.
I think that's the entire test is the heartbeat, because physically they're tired, but adrenaline takes them through. Because everyone talks about playing 3 games in 2 days in some tournaments. I said, if you ever get to the state finals, that's what you're going to do. But right now, I'm not worried about fatigue, because their adrenaline will take them through there. And if they get tired, they'll fight through it, just like the Warriors they are. And I'm not real concerned about that with mental or physical fatigue, because they're so excited about being here and trying to win that they're the underdogs again. They love that situation, so they can plug away and see what we can do. But emotionally, they're going to be on a pretty big high, and that might be something I need to be concerned with, to just bring them down a little bit. But their heartbeat's going to be intact.
Reno Pinkston's performance as coach of this team will be remembered throughout IHSA history. One by one, the last 3 unbeaten teams in the state were shot down. This team was ready to perform when opportunity came a-knocking. Before the game even began, Spring Valley Hall All-State guard Sean Jepson had his hand cut by an IHSA network television camera, and he missed most of the first quarter. But over on the other bench, a new hero was just 1 hour away from making history. Nauvoo Colusa wanted to make sure to stay with powerful Spring Valley Hall early. Here, Emmett Reidner flips one in to tie the game at 4-4. A minute and a half later, Joe Wilson nails the 3. Nauvoo up 7-6. When Jepson got back into the lineup, he showed off his all-state moves. This basket made it a 12-12 tie. And after a back-and-forth first quarter, Spring Valley Hall already had 19 points. They led 19-15. But the Vikings stayed calm the entire night. Here they go inside to Emmett Reidner to start the second quarter. The game slowed down considerably after that first quarter, and Spring Valley Hall held a 6-point lead at the half. When Jepson made this third quarter basket, it gave Spring Valley Hall a 30-22 lead. But the Vikings sucked it up for one more third quarter run. David Griffiths starting to heat things up. And the Vikings defense begins to smother the Spring Valley Hall attack. Joe Wilson here on the steal. And then Emmett Reidner made it a 4-point game. Next trip down the court, Joe Wilson with his 4th 3 of the game. And at the end of 3, the Vikings were down by a single point. And 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, David Hamma gives Nauvoo Colusa the lead. With 4.5 minutes left, Emmett Reidner put the Vikings back on top, 35-34. But the shot of the game, with 2:27 left, David Griffiths. And you know that defense wins championships, and that's what iced the game for Nauvoo Colusa. In the second half, the Vikings held Spring Valley Hall to just 24% from the field, and that wins championships.
This is great. We're the underdog. We're the underdogs all tournament. Came out against the #1 team in the state. show them that we're the best in the state right now. Yeah.
We had to respect them because they're a great team. We had to play good defense and make our shots.
I didn't start dreaming until last year after Warsaw did it, because at Nauvoo we've only won one regional in history. I was dreaming of winning a regional and maybe going into the sectional, but I never thought anything like this until last year Warsaw did it.
And now the Warsaw Wildcats pass the torch. The champions now, Nauvoo Colusa. Hey, what did these guys show you last year, Emmett?
I don't know, a lot. So it's like no one's going to lay down for us, even though we have a Joe Wilson or a Siegfried. They showed us, they kicked our butts a couple times, and we needed that to come back for next year, and we're glad we did. Craig Weir said something to us at regional, says, hey, we're going this year, you better be going next year. And it was. We did bring it back this year. Keep it in Hancock County, hopefully.
While the trophy will say 1998 on it, it's a true symbol of hard work within the Viking program during the 1990s, and especially these young players in their last 10 years.
They're just incredible kids, not just incredible basketball players, but incredible people. And I love being around them. They know how much I love them, and they showed that by doing everything I asked them to do, by persevering through the good and bad times, coming from behind in games where it didn't look like it might go well for us, but they showed more poise than any team I've ever been around at any time. Best team I've ever had, obviously, but possibly the best team I've ever seen at this level where the word team is concerned.
Has any Class A state champion been tested like this team? Perhaps not. They knocked off 3 unbeaten teams this week and won all 3 games this weekend, come from behind.
We want to win every game. We go out to win every game. We're not afraid of anybody.
We're comeback kids, I guess. I don't know. We're always down at half. We always kind of play sluggish a little bit first half, but second half, we just give it all we got, and hopefully we can come out on top.
When you're willing to sacrifice for each other like they do, good things should happen to a group of kids like this, and fortunately for us, it did work out this way.
There will be a new tourist attraction in the city of Nauvoo as the Vikings bring home the state championship trophy to their longtime loyal fans.
I can't believe it. I've seen them since they've been that tall, but I just can't believe they're there. Nauvoo Colusa, the state champions. When did you guys believe it?
We believe that. We've been watching them play since they've been in 4th grade, and they've only lost about 15 games ever since they've been playing. They're a good bunch of boys that play as a team.
How's this community going to celebrate the championship?
They're going to have a lot of fun. You know, there were 3 undefeated teams in the Sweet 16, and we took all 3 of them out. We're number 1.
They needed it. This is first time ever. They love it. They're going to be loving this for a long, long time. So it's just great for them, too.
It's going to be really good. We're going to come back 20 years from now and be talking about this. Of course, we're going to be exaggerating, but who cares? We're state champions, and we're going to be proud of it.
They'll eventually sink in. They'll get together and talk about how much they persevered through the good and bad times, and it'll all be worth it. No one can ever take this away from them. They're at the top of the mountain. They worked so hard to get there, and they proved everybody wrong.
The Nauvoo Colusa Vikings, 31-3, and the last team standing at Carver Arena. They played like, acted like, and dreamed like champions. Congratulations.